During this third month of your off season, you should be focusing on max strength, power, and stamina. Today's video is going to break down exactly how much, how long, what you should be doing. Hey gang, it's Maria Mountain here from goalietrainingpro.com. I am an exercise physiologist, a strength and conditioning coach, and today we're talking about month 3 of your off season where we'll really be focusing on max strength, building that power and stamina while still building up our speed and our mobility. This phase, usually we're starting to integrate more on ice training as well, so I'll let you know how that all works in with the plan. In this phase of your off season, we're moving a little bit away from bilateral training to more unilateral training. Not to say we get rid of bilateral altogether, but a little more emphasis on unilateral training because it really lets us build strength and stability at the same time. So what's an example? An example is maybe we're gonna move from front squat to single leg squat. You know what, let's head down to the lab quickly and I'll just give you some examples. Here's an example of what I mean when I talk about going from bilateral to unilateral. So instead of maybe doing a bilateral dumbbell squat or front squat, I'm gonna go to a unilateral, so a single leg squat to tap, still using heavy load, keeping the reps pretty low for a big bang exercise like that, maybe four reps on each side. Another example would be our bottom up single leg squat. We might get into landmine or goblet lunge lateral to finding and fighting for that balance, to get that sort of transition, starting to take the strength and apply it a little more quickly, which is exactly what power is. For your upper body, it might be going from a barbell bench, bilateral dumbbell bench. Maybe we'll transition to an incline single arm dumbbell press, getting that balance, or maybe we'll go alternating from the up position. So I have to stabilize here and then alternate. Again, I would use a heavy load. Those are just 10s, but I would build up that load so that I'm using, a weight that really is a good challenge, 0 to 1 reps in reserve for about 4 repetitions on each side to build that max strength, to tap into those fast twitch motor units, which are the ones that are in the best position to produce power. And of course, you'd still be doing like chin-ups, pull-ups, all those big bang bilateral exercises. That's fine too. Does that all make sense? We can check that one off. I love checking stuff off. It feels so good. The next thing, we really have 2 options how we're going to structure this phase. We can either do an upper-lower split, which means we're going to do 2 lower body and 2 upper body workouts each week, or we can do 3 full body workouts. And a little bit of that depends on just your schedule, your time, how much time you have to train. It also depends a lot on your training age and your background. So it's gonna vary. Those workouts during the off season, again, it depends on your level, and I'm always talking 14 years of age and up, but it's gonna take an hour to an hour and a half to get your gym workout done. If you are spending 3 hours in the gym, you're wasting an hour and a half, basically. I don't know how else to say it. Your workout should not take 3 hours. Now, if you are going there, hanging out, foam rolling for half an hour, chatting with everybody, doing your workout, then hanging out, like that's something else. But to do just your strength training, hour and a half is perfect. The exact exercises you do for those strength workouts is also going to depend on your training background, your injury history, what you really need to work on. So I can't really say, well, and these are the exercises everybody should do, because it changes up a little bit. If we talk about stamina, you're going to do about 3 stamina workouts per week. One of them is going to be a category 2, so low intensity, steady state, to try to get some of those infrastructure adaptations, increasing your capillary density, increasing mitochondrial density, the things that really help you recover more quickly. The other 2 are going to be nasty little devils, and they're going to be agility-based interval training. So not going to the track and sprinting 400s. The cool thing and the interesting thing about building a goalie's stamina is you really need 2 kinds of stamina. You need cardiovascular stamina, but you also need local muscular stamina, and they're different. So we need to train those things, and I designed these, agility-based circuits really that train both of those. July is not a very nice month, to be honest with you, in the off season. We're gonna keep with 2 speed workouts. So yeah, sorry, I'll backtrack. Your stamina workouts, they'll take about 30 minutes up to a max of an hour. Not many will be an hour, but we could get that high. Then when we talk about speed workouts take about 20 to 30 minutes. They're going to be 2 per week. And the key thing for speed is that we can't accumulate fatigue. If your legs are burning, if you're like getting out of breath, you're not training speed. Now you're training stamina, a different type of stamina, and it might be like a shorter duration stamina. But once fatigue enters the picture, we're not training speed. Speed workouts should be relatively easy physically, maybe a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 max, but they're going to be hard on your brain because you're really focusing and trying to move as explosively as possible. So 2 of those per week. You're also going to start integrating a little bit more skating. And some of you take time off, some of you continue skating all along, but I like you to skate 1 to 2 times in July. 2 is kind of the sweet spot, and then building as we get closer to August. Now, if you're doing more, if you have camps and whatever, that's fine, but 1 to 2 sessions, mostly still working on technique, skating, edge work, that type of thing. It depends on these. So let's say you're skating 4 times a week, and 2 of them are real baggers. That's going to affect how many stamina workouts you do. We're not going to completely replace your stamina, but we need to kind of reconfigure your training to take that aerobic and anaerobic load into consideration. So keep that in mind. You can't go out and skate 4 or 5 times a week and then do 2 high intensity interval stamina workouts in category 2. We need to adjust things to suit your schedule, but 1 to 2 times on the ice at least. And then finally, no big change here. You're going to keep working on your mobility, and that needs to be at least 4 times a week, up to 6 times a week. I like the goalies that I work with to take 1 day of rest every week. Just, you can play pickleball if you want, but just take a day out of the gym and off sort of structured hockey training. What are we doing for those mobility workouts? We're moving a little bit away. In the first 2 phases, we're pretty aggressively going after adductor strength at length, really challenging those muscles. We're going away from that a little bit. Now we're fine tuning and using that range we have, but getting a little bit better control, making those muscles a little bit smarter. But keeping in mind, as you're getting back on the ice a bit more, we don't want to just be overloading those adductors and creating, tendonitis or overuse type issues. As you can see, and you've seen in my other videos, you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. If you have a pretty decent set of dumbbells, some resistance bands, then you're in really good shape. You could add in a barbell, that's a huge bonus, but it's not necessary. If you just so happen to train at a gym that has a turf area and a sled, those are great tools to use as well. Definitely we would work those into your program design, but don't let a lack of sort of fancy or specialized type equipment hold you back from making the most of this off season. It really is the only time you can really fill your bucket with strength, power, mobility before you get into the grind of the regular season. Now, how do we know if it's working? Well, in my programs, when we monitor progress, we'll do repeat 300-yard shuttles. Our goal is to get those both under 60 seconds. We'll do lateral hop and stabilize for measurement to the right and the left. We'll do knee down lateral hop and stabilize to the right or left. You have to stick the landing or it doesn't count. We also look at tall, kneeling, butterfly flare just to see how your mobility is. And those things don't improve every single month. Some months we're really focusing on stamina, and so it's going to improve a lot, whereas we're not working quite the same way on mobility. It might stay the same. So it doesn't mean every single month everything's going to go up. We're just looking at the trend. There's so many things you don't control as a hockey goalie, but one of the things you absolutely control 100% is your commitment, your discipline to your off-season training and what you choose to do. Some goalies just want to work hard, and working hard on the wrong things doesn't translate onto the ice. So we want to make sure that you're working consistently, that's the #1 thing, and that you're working hard on the right things so that you can really transform your career. Just like in a game, make sure you make the most out of every single workout, because every workout in the gym is an opportunity to change your fortunes as a goaltender. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Same bat channel, same bat time. I love you guys.